Alright guys, good afternoon and welcome back again to more Muv-Luv Alternative. I almost messed up the title there, but that's okay. You know, we're all entitled to some mistakes now and then. But anyways guys, we're continuing on from where we last left off. It's gonna seem like this episode's gonna be more about, I guess you can say, heart-to-heart moments, if you will. If you will. And yeah, it's starting to get a lot more serious than before, so honestly, like I was saying before, it's anyone's guess to what's going to happen from here on in, and I'm looking forward to seeing how everything else comes into the picture. So, if nothing else, hope you all continue to enjoy. Thank you again for the love and support, and here we go.
されど、機関の将兵の命を危険にさらしているのは私どもでも、まして殿下でもありません。極東での復権を欲するアメリカ政府です。なれば先の物言い、まさに陰口がごとき泣き言に過ぎぬ。私ども相手に漏らすのは筋違いも甚だしい。その程度の覚悟と忠誠ならば遠慮は無用。またあの時のように安全な北米大陸へ帰られよ。
言葉が過ぎます。つくよみ注意。本作戦での立場をお忘れですか。
先ほど上官の議論に口を挟むなと訓練兵をたしなめていたな。部下への範は己が態度で示すがいい。
注意。今般の作戦を主管する国連軍の名において警告します。機関の発言は挑発的意図が散見され、今後の任務遂行の障害となる恐れがあります。
は？マリモちゃん？
なるほど。任務の障害となる我々近衛部隊を国連が反乱軍と認定し排除する、そう言いたいのだね。
Oh, for fuck's sake. What the hell's wrong with you guys? Now even Marimo-chan's losing her freaking mind? Weren't you the ones who didn't want to waste any... Wait, huh?
警告と申し上げました。以後ご自重ください。
できぬとしたらいかに。
やめたまえ中。時間稼ぎはもう十分だろう。見事に乗せられてしまったものだ。君の挑発が全て演技だったというわけでもあるまい。
少佐のおっしゃる意味がわかりま
せん。まあいい。ところで軍曹、君は知っていて乗った口かね。
Huh? What's that sound? Your Highness. Huh? How does she know about that? What the? The switch. When did she... Wait, so how much of that did she hear? Your Highness. I don't know. Whoa, what was that? Friendly aircraft? Oh, I see. The mountains on both sides has created a blind spot on the radar. Huh? Wait, isn't Atsugi Base one of the ones that got overrun before we left Hakone?
少佐、あれはおそらく
ボーンだと。バカ、ありえん。
An airborne assault? But wouldn't the safest flight path from Atsugi take them right over the UN and US navies?
完全にしてやられた。戦術機の空挺、ましてや危険区域での航空機使用などありえないという硬直化した思考の隙を突かれたのだ。
You're kidding me. Those transports risked flying over land knowing full well the beta could have just shot them down? Nothing that big can fly NOE. They could have been blown to smithereens.
国連軍指揮官に次ぐ。
Someone's transmitting on all channels. Is he from the troops surrounding us?
私は本土防衛軍帝都守備第一戦術機構連隊所属の佐桐直也である。
Huh? Wait, Sagiri? Could it be?
直ちに戦闘行動を中止せよ。我々の目的は戦闘ではない。繰り返す。直ちに戦闘行動を中止せよ。
That voice. That's the orchestrator of the coup d'etat, Sagiri Naoya.
繰り返す。直ちに戦闘行動を中止せよ。
No way. This can't be happening.
ゆえあって決起し、立場を意にする諸君らと対峙しているが、我らの目的は戦闘ではない。諸君らが無法にも連れ去ろうとしている我らが殿下をお迎えに上がったのだ。いささか一方的ではあるが、諸君らにただいまから60分間の休戦を申し入れる。なおこの休戦は後部員夕日殿下のご尊命にかけて履行されるものである。我々からそれを破ることはありえない。その間、現在置かれている状況、諸君らが我が国に対し行っている行為の逃避を冷静に熟慮し、現実的で誠実な対応を取られんことを切に願う。60分後、再びオープンチャンネルにて呼びかける。返答なき場合、我らは必要と思われる全ての手段をもって事態の収拾を図る。そう心得られよ。以上。反乱の首謀者が最前線に現れ、60分の休戦を通告。どう考えても罠だ。状況から考えて不自然すぎる。
冷川周辺を制圧した敵部隊が我々の後方を固めるための時間稼ぎなのではないでしょうか。
そのさらに後方や旧下田から北上しているであろう友軍もその分接近するのだ。リスクに見合う行動ではないな。
リスクがないからこその休戦申し入れとも考えられます。
どういうことだ。
無線封鎖し、センサーはパッシブ。部隊各機のデータリンクも有線である現状では、後方の状況は推測でしかありえません。
東京からの友軍追撃部隊が全滅しているというのか。我々のマーカーが消えたのに旧下田のアメリカ軍は動きもしないと。
可能性は。
それこそ推測だ。この休戦の狙いはおそらく将軍のダッシュだ。戦術機ではなく歩兵部隊で奇襲をかけるつもりだろう。行軍距離と将軍上機を特定する時間を考えれば60分という時間はうなずける。
お言葉ですが少佐、60分間の休戦は絶対に履行されます。
その根拠は。
帝国軍人が将軍の名において発した言葉を翻すことはおそらくありえません。
君も同意見か、注意。
は、殿下の置かれた状況、国の現状を憂えて立った者たちです。神宮寺軍曹の言う通りだと考えます。自らが寄って立つ者を恥ずかしめることは絶対にありません。
なぜ君たちがそこまで敵を信用できるのかわからんが、
どちらにせよ時間が稼げること自体はこちらにとっても好都合だ。休戦に応じる。下記は現ポジションを維持。殿下には戦術機から降りてお休みいただこう。
は。
軍曹。
は。
念のため歩兵の襲撃に備える。207小隊は殿下の警護に当たれ。
訓練兵を殿下の直営に当てるのですか？
軍曹、少佐は今のうちに訓練兵を休ませておけとおっしゃっておられるのだ。
うん。
少佐、我が部隊の兵士も戦術機から下ろし、周囲の警戒に当たらせます。
よかろう。この絵である君の任務を果たせ。
は。
少佐、お心遣い感謝いたします。
状況はもっと厳しくなる。頼んだぞ。
は。
It's been about 30 minutes since the rebel transmission. Now the units surrounding us have moved a muscle. Assuming the markers they're intentionally transmitting to us aren't fakes. They do match up with what we saw on the radar as they came down, in terms of numbers and positions. Are the rebels trying to prove they aren't looking for a fight by showing that they've got nothing to hide? They proclaimed a ceasefire in the Shogun's name, and so far, they haven't gone back on their word. Under the circumstances, any Japanese person in this world would believe them without question. There's even a part of me that's tempted to believe it, as illogical as that is. 2 years spent in the previous timeline taught me just how important the Shogun is to this world's Japan. Excuse me. So I'm pretty sure I would have been able to understand what drove the rebels to do this, even if Maya wasn't around to explain it to me. For the Japanese people of this world, Japan doesn't exist without the Shogun. That's why the rebel commander is ignoring modern combat procedure and coming to the front lines himself. People who rebel for the sake of their country and their Shogun wouldn't break the ceasefire proclaimed in Her Highness's name. That much I can believe. But the only way for Captain Sagiri and his followers to prove their rebellion was just is for the Shogun to personally condone their actions. And that's why they need to take the Shogun from us. So then, why would they honor the ceasefire? We've taken them at their word, which means we're pretty much sitting ducks. On top of that, we've disabled our active sensors, wireless transmissions, and satellite data links so they can't be traced to our position. In other words, we're basically blind. If their plan was to use Her Highness's name to trick us into laying our guard down, well, they've already succeeded. They wanted to swoop right in and wipe us out, and now would be the perfect time. It's not that hard to believe that the rebels would deceive us to achieve their designs. I feel like that's why Major Vulcan's got his cadets out patrolling. He can't completely discount that possibility. But so far, it looks like they're just gonna keep on waiting it out, even after making a suicidally dangerous flight down here to catch up with us. Okay, what the hell? If they do uphold the ceasefire, then they'd be doing it for honor or pride, or something, right? There's no strategic benefit whatsoever. What's Captain Saget even trying to accomplish with this rebellion? Not that I don't understand the importance of honor and pride, but is that really what matters most right now? The captain's putting his life on the line to pull this off, even prioritizing it above the interest of mankind as a whole. Shouldn't he be taking things a bit more seriously? It's just the wind. Man, don't scare me like that. Damn it. I'm not like them. That's right. I'm different. My objective is to prevent the fall of mankind. If I were in his shoes, I'd be prioritizing the end goal above anything else. That's my responsibility, as someone who witnessed the end of days. If the Japanese citizens of this world can't see through to the bigger picture, then that just means I'll have to do it for them.
この人類滅亡の危機に極東防衛の要衝たる自覚もなく、無意味な内戦に突入し、貴重な戦力や時間を浪費している愚かな国家。それが君たちの国、日本だ。その幼稚でくだらない国のために、私の部下が命を落とすことは絶対に我慢ならん。
Like Yuko-sensei and Tsukuyomi-san said, it's clear that America has some ulterior motives here. But at the same time, the Major's got a point. And he's got every right to say it. He's a surface pilot on the front lines, not some high-ranking politician sitting safely in the rear. There's not a single person in this world who wants to get killed in a fight like this. I have no doubt about that. From the Major's point of view, this incident must be frustrating on so many levels. He's been dragged into the middle of a rebellion instigated by indignant activists in a country that's on the front lines of the war against the Beta, and now he's surrounded by those same people, and his life is in danger. His battalion saved our asses, and we've been telling him the mission takes a backseat to ensuring the Shogun's safety, and now we're taking the enemy at their word without a second thought. When you look at it like that, I don't blame him for thinking Japanese people are irrational, or that we're a childish nation. I felt the same way about Japanese people in this world before. Hell, I've even been pretty vocal about it. When the Major called this conflict a childish, it honestly sounded like something I would say. It's probably because we're both outsiders here. The Major's an American, and I'm not from this world's Japan. But at the same time, it's not like I can condone America for acting on their own interests while condemning Japan for doing the same. I just don't have the same sense of Japanese patriotism that everyone here seems to have. And I don't know the historical context behind it either. But none of that even matters right now. For me, this isn't about political gain, or who was wrong and who was right in some conflict that happened decades ago. All I want is to keep humanity from falling victim to the same fate twice.
目的が同じであっても、重んじるものが違えば道を違えることもある。理解できぬというのなら、足玉に断じるでない。
That's why when Yuko-sensei brought up Mount Tengen, and I had to choose between the fate of humanity and that old woman's wishes, the choice may as well have been made for me. Not that I'd forgotten the things that she and Maya taught me back then, of course. If anything, I made the choice that I did in order to save not just the old woman, but everyone else as well. If I'm going to save as many lives as I can, then it's my responsibility to see Alternative 4 through the completion as soon as possible. So, why then? Why am I feeling so conflicted all of a sudden, when I know the Major's subjectively in the right? Why couldn't I do the Shogun what I did to that old woman? Especially after how frustrated I've been about wasting all this precious time on human infighting. I knew that the fastest way to get this thing over with was to bring the Shogun back to Yokohama base as soon as possible, and yet, I couldn't obey the Major's order. I couldn't bring myself to sedate her. I don't even feel the same sense of devotion to the Shogun that these people have, so why couldn't I do it? Because she's Maya's twin? Because it would have put her in mortal danger? Could I have done it without question if I knew it wasn't life-threatening? Probably. When I saw the Shogun suffering like that, I couldn't make the same decision that I indirectly made for that old woman. At the time, I didn't even realize that it went completely against my usual stance on things like this. I panicked, and I hesitated, and I was freaking out with no idea what to do. Meanwhile, Her Highness, a girl my own age, was begging me to give her the meds, even though she knew they could kill her. All for the sake of America, the UN, and even the rebel surface pilots. Damn it! God, I should have known what to do. When it happened, my mind just went blank. I was too afraid to do it with my own two hands. Is it just because I have no combat experience? That can't be it. This world's been fighting against the Beta for ages. I doubt that Tsukuyomi-san or Marimo-chan or even the Major have any experience fighting other people. How many veterans from those kinds of wars are even still alive? So what is it? Is there something other than combat experience I'm missing here? Is there something even bigger than that I lack? What the hell could it be?
私も国連職員である一人の日本人として日本主導のオルタネイティブ4を完遂させたいのですよ。
確かに事務次官の言葉に嘘はないと思いますわ。あの方なりに人類全体のことを思い、信念に基づいてその責務を果たしていらっしゃるのでしょう。
たとえそれが将軍家ゆかりのものだろうが、首相の娘であろうが、実の娘であったとしても、犠牲はいといませんよ。その犠牲を最大限に生かす方法とタイミングは十分心得ているつもりだよ。私も光月博士も。
Conviction and patriotism? Is that really all it comes down to? How in the hell can that be? There's no way that's all it is. I've got plenty of conviction. Sure, I wasn't born and raised here, but still. I'm determined to save humanity at all costs. Is that not good enough? Okay, I'm from another world. But that shouldn't stop me from making tough calls when I need to, damn it. Have all the tragedies I've experienced only made me weaker as a result?
人類を救うっていうあんたの決意、自分で思っているほど固くないんじゃないの？
Yuko Sensei saw right through me. Damn it. It's because I don't get it. I just can't wrap my head around it. How am I supposed to give someone the benefit of the doubt on the basis of a moral code I can't possibly comprehend? They're positive that Captain Sagiri won't ambush us because it would go against everything they hold sacred. And here I am, shaking in my boots, all because I lack the same conviction. It's like how a blind man could never imagine what the color red looks like. I can't understand that kind of conviction because I've never had it before. Damn it. Ah! Damn it! Damn it! God damn it! I want to be stronger than this. God damn it! Ah. There's too many things happening all at once. I just don't know what to do. I'm definitely nervous about my first battle too. But thanks to all that psychological training, I'm not terribly afraid of dying. Thank goodness for that at least. But if I had a real pillar of strength to fall back on, would I even feel conflicted about any of this? Maybe if I had more conviction. If I were more steadfast in my beliefs. It doesn't matter. I still have to see Alternative 4 through to completion no matter the cost. There's not much time left. We can't afford to wait for me to man up. At least I managed to figure out what's been bugging me all this time. That has to be the step in the right direction. I don't know whether I can learn to have stronger convictions, but for now, all I can do is try. Now it's not the time to get lost in thought. If we can't get past the enemy's blockade, none of this will even matter. For now, I need to focus on getting everyone through this, safe and sound. Huh? Right, this isn't just about me. Everyone here has some kind of baggage that connects them to the situation. Not to mention as family members of those involved. During the briefing we just had, I was so preoccupied with the enemy's encirclement and my own inner conflict that I didn't even look around to see how the others were doing. They gotta be stressed about facing their first battle, all the more so since we were surrounded by the enemy just when it seemed like we'd made a clean getaway. Maya is feeling conflicted because of her feelings for Her Highness and her sympathy toward the rebel cause. Tama's torn between her Japanese roots and her father's position in the UN. Same goes for Mikoto. If she knows what her dad's really been up to, this can't be easy on her either. But now that Captain Sagiri has shown his face on the battlefield, I can only imagine what Class Rep and Aimine are going through right now. And yet everyone's still giving their all. Maybe I should go see if anyone needs someone to vent to. Though I'll probably be the one doing most of the venting. I'm worried about Class Rep. I wonder what Mei is thinking. I should go see Aimine. Where's Tama? Whew. Okay. This is probably going to be very important for whichever endings I get. I'm assuming. Alright, you know what? I'm torn between Class Rep and Maya right now. I'm gonna go with Maya. Huh? Where'd Maya go? I don't see her anywhere. That's strange. I'm pretty sure this is the area she was assigned during the briefing. We've all disabled our ID markers so the enemy can't trace her location. If she's on the move, it's not going to be easy to find her. Oh man, I really hope she's not actually patrolling the area. They want us to get some rest so we wouldn't slow the whole group down later. I figured she'd be beside herself with worry for Her Highness, but I guess she decided to focus on carrying out her orders. Classic Maya, really. She can never neglect her patrol duties when Her Highness' safety is at stake. Even if that duty was just an excuse to let us get some rest. Though in her case, she'd probably rather stay busy than just be left to her own thoughts. Oh, okay, so we're just gonna check up on everyone, huh? Alright. Check on Class Rep. Class Rep, I'm heading your way, so don't shoot. Well, this is our first actual battle, and I'm really on edge. Figured I'd take a walk to try and clear my head.
そう
She seems pretty tired. Even though we're on a break, we're still technically supposed to be on patrol. But she isn't even nagging me about straying from my post. Of course, we had to rush all the way out here right after what happened to her dad. Now we're surrounded by enemies. I really can't say I blame her. You doing alright? Seems like you're pretty worn down.
さっき栄養剤と興奮剤を打ったわ。白金は大丈夫そうね。
Not really. Anyway, nutrients are all well and good, but don't overdo it on the stimulants.
殿下のご様子は
Well, she's got acute motion sickness.
え
Doesn't help that she's probably been stressed and sleep deprived since this whole mess started. I don't think a little nap is gonna do her that much good.
ごめんなさい。聞いちゃいけない情報だったわ。
Alright, the briefing they got didn't go into detail about the Shogun's condition at all. Maybe it was supposed to be classified. Oh well. Hey, so get this. Her Highness told me she had TSF piloting experience. Did you know that? She said she had about 96 hours of flight time. That's way more than even we have.
殿下は軍の最高司令官なんだから、英式教練くらい当たり前でしょ。
Crap, really? Is it common knowledge that the Shogun undergoes piloting training? I guess it's sort of like the way nobles used to master horseback riding and swordsmanship. Well, yeah, obviously, but even then, most people couldn't last that long without a fortified suit. She's really something else.
そうね。
Her voice is completely monotone, and her expression is really stiff. Class rep's usually pretty concerned about keeping up appearances, but I guess she just doesn't have the energy to care right now.
で、何か話があるんじゃないの？
Oh, nah, not really. I sure as hell can't tell her I was looking for someone to vent to. She just laughed me off.
今のところ私は大丈夫よ。
Oh, you know, the problem is they keep pausing for more than a minute. I'm thinking they're done with their speech. I keep cutting them off. My bad, guys. Okay, if you say so. She says despite being so exhausted that she's relying on stimulants. Gotta keep up that tough girl facade, I guess. Being constantly on the run from an enemy like this would take its toll on anyone, though. Especially since it's our first battle. And that's not even to mention what happened to her dad. I remember being pretty nervous during my first mission, too. You were just on guard duty around the base, but all that tension definitely wore me out after a while.
何よ。そうは見えないって顔ね。
No, it's not that. I'm just exhausted too, that's all. Even when I try to smile, it just doesn't happen. Guess I'm not doing so hot either.
あなたが来た理由、当ててみましょうか。
Huh? What do you mean?
親の敵を目の前にして、いつ私が暴走するとも限らない。だから釘を刺しに来た。
Wow. That's how she interpreted this. Guess I can't blame her though. Considering the stuff I said before we left and the timing of it all, it's not hard to see how she jumped to that conclusion. Wrong. Try again.
間があったわ。
Give me a break. I said I was tired, didn't I?
じゃあ、何しに来たの？
I mean, no particular reason. Just felt like it. Ugh, I'm so stupid. I didn't come out here just to argue.
なら、放っておいてちょうだい。
Alright, sheesh, don't get so angry. I mean, we're out here in the middle of the woods. Might as well have a good stretch. Take a couple of deep breaths.
おせっかいもいい加減にして。
Oh, please. No one's telling you what to do.
放っておいてって言ったでしょ。私は大丈夫だって言ってるじゃないの。
Would you calm down? Get a hold of yourself.
いいわよ。もう。
Ugh. I better leave it at that. I don't know if it's just the exhaustion talking or if she took too many stimulants, but class reps clearly can't control her emotions right now. Trying to continue this conversation won't do either of us any good. My bad. I'll get out of your hair. Sorry. Sometimes I just need to see my squad mates to give myself a little reassurance. Alright. Well, that went well. Let's go check on Aimine. Aimine, it's just me. It's Shiogane. Don't shoot, alright? Yikes. Why does she not look happy to see me? Hi. Can't blame her, though. I know all about her connections to Captain Sagiri, so it makes sense that she'd be on her guard. It'd be awkward not to bring him up at all, but I've got to make sure she doesn't think that's all I came to talk about. I don't want to make this any harder on her than it already is. Man, even though we've just been on the run this entire time, I gotta say, real combat's a bitch. I feel like the exhaustion, the physical part anyway, didn't really hit me till we disembarked from our TSFs, you know? What about you? How you holding up? You doing okay?
余裕あるね。
Unfazed? Me?
殿下は
Ah, right. I mean, it's a Japanese citizen like everyone else. Makes sense that she'd want to know. She has acute motion sickness. Not really a surprise after getting tossed around inside the TSF without a fortified suit.
どういうこと？ブリーフィングでは伏せられてた。
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be classified technically, but I figured it would be better for me, to just clue you guys in.
今はどうなの？
She still seems to be in pain, but her condition stabilized at least.
そう。
We can't expect her to recover in just an hour. This operation is only going to get tougher from here on out.
そうだね。
It feels a little weird that even Ayamine is so concerned about the Shogun's well-being. I've never seen Ayamine act like this. Not in her day-to-day life, or even in the previous timeline. Not as far as I can remember, anyway. Is that kind of devotion to the Shogun what I'm missing, maybe?
行かないの？
Huh?
殿下のところ。
Oh, right. Nah, Lieutenant Kamio of the Royal Guard is watching her right now. It's not really my place to be taking care of Her Highness anyway.
だからブラブラしてるんだ。
I mean, partially. Though it's more just that I can't seem to calm myself down from the adrenaline rush of the real battle. While it's true that I didn't want to check up on Ayamine, I also wanted just to someone to vent to. Though I obviously can't tell her that.
ほんと余裕あるね。
You keep using that word, but I'm not really sure what you mean by it.
他人を構う余裕私にはない。
Huh?
だけどあの人が来ても私は大丈夫だから。
What? No, I wasn't implying that.
私のことはほっといて。
Ayamine! Well, that failed spectacularly. Maybe she could tell that I was tiptoeing around the subject of Captain Sagiri? Wait up, Ayamine! Look, I really wasn't trying to corner you, alright? It's just that, well, you know.
ごめん。本当に疲れてるから休ませて。
Huh? Oh, okay. That's a crazy thing to hear coming from Ayamine, whether she's lying or not. Actually, no. I'm sure it's the truth. This is her first battle, so she's already feeling the pressure. Tack on an escort mission with the enemy in hot pursuit, plus the stuff with Captain Sagiri and Class Rep, who wouldn't be a little overwhelmed? Ayamine almost never lets her feelings show, but look at her now. She's so exhausted that she can't even keep up her nonchalant front. Oh, right. I almost forgot. For a second back there, I thought maybe Ayamine had something to do with the rebels predicting her every move. Even though I swore I'd trust her. Ayamine, I owe you an apology.
もういい。早く行って。
No, hear me out. This is about something else. After we left Hakone, and the rebel forces seemed to be constantly 2 steps ahead of us, for a split second, I suspected that you might have been leaking intel to them.
そう。
I'm sorry. I know I promised I'd trust you.
確かめに来たんだ。
I can see why you'd think that, but no, that's not why I'm here. In all honesty, I was just looking for someone to vent to. Then, while I was talking to you, I remembered that and felt like I needed to apologize for it.
正直なのはいいこと。だけど、こっちもいろいろある。そんなこと、今聞きたくない。
Crap. I just apologized out of habit, but she's absolutely right. Yeah, my bad. This wasn't a good time to bring that up. I didn't even consider what she must be going through right now. I only apologized because I figured it would make me feel better.
白金も疲れてるね。休んだ方がいい。
Sorry. Damn it, there's nothing I can say to make it better.
もういいでしょう。休ませて。
Okay. This sucks, man. Alright.
訓練兵を出撃させるなんて極東国連軍の人手不足は相当深刻ね。
Whose voice is that?
あなたも災難だったわね。
That's Tama's voice. Who's she talking to?
私もね、まさか人間相手の作戦に駆り出されるなんて思ってもみなかったわ。日本には一度来てみたいと思ってたんだけど、こんな形でそれが叶うなんてね。
はい。
Oh, it's an American surface pilot. I see. So the Americans are taking breaks as well.
すみません、少尉。こんなことになっちゃって。
え？
今は人間同士で戦っている場合じゃないのに。
どういうこと？どうしてあなたが謝るの？
その。
Guess she must feel partially responsible because she's Japanese, and since she suspects her dad was the one who got the US military involved, even though she doesn't know for sure, this incident is putting everyone in the 207th flight in an awkward position between the UN and the Imperial forces. We're a ragtag band of cadets, Royal Guards, and US soldiers caught up in a conflict between the UN, Japan, and America. Being surrounded by so many conflicting viewpoints is tough, and I'm sure it's even more stressful for Tama, given her father's part in all of this.
もしかしてあなたは日本人？
はい。そうです、少尉。
What? How? Wait, that makes no sense. How could you not tell? Aren't you both speaking Japanese?
なるほど、そういうことか。じゃあ、なおのことつらいか。同胞に銃を向けるんだからね。そう。
I'm really impressed with how mature that US soldier is being about all this. Sure, the American government's got ulterior motives, but these pilots never asked to be dragged into the petty rebellion, and they already lost comrades in the fighting. You'd think they would be about ready to take a swing at us by now, or at least mutter a few nasty words in our direction, and yet this one's actually comforting Tama.
私ね、フィンランド人なの。
Oh, Finland? From Finland? She's not American? But she's enlisted in the US Army? How does that work? America hasn't suffered a lot of casualties, so women haven't been affected by the draft yet. Hell, I don't even think they've lowered the drafting age. Plus, she's a foreigner.
戦災難民なのよ。ほら、私の国もうなくなっちゃったから。
私なんて言ったらいいか。
別にいいのよ。気にしないで。
Now I remember. In this world, all of Europe was completely wiped out about 7 or 8 years ago, with the exception of the British Isles.
でもどうしてフィンランド人のあなたがアメリカ軍にいるんですか？
そうね。理由は2つあって、まずアメリカの市民権を取得するためね。
市民権？
そう。戦災難民が市民権を得るには、軍に入って除隊まで務め上げるしか方法がないのよ。だから今回派遣されている部隊のほとんどの人間が私と同じ戦災難民からの志願兵。お偉いさん方を除いてね。
Huh? Wait a second. So out of all the American forces sent here, the only actual Americans are Major Walken and the other higher-ups? Maybe I'm just being naive here, but I'm struggling to wrap my head around the thought of sending a whole unit of foreign refugees straight to the front lines. I know it's not my place to judge, but is U.S. citizenship really worth risking your life for? Even knowing they sent you out here to keep Americans off the front lines?
あの地獄、ヨーロッパから生きて逃げ出せただけでも随分贅沢なことなんだけど、私が市民権を取れば家族を難民キャンプから出してあげられるからね。
So that's it. America may be mostly unharmed by all of this, but even they don't have the resources to give all the refugees the same quality of life as their actual citizens. Captain Sagiri talked about how awful the refugee camps in Japan were during his broadcast. I imagine American camps aren't that much different. So that's what she needs citizenship for. Huh, makes sense.
ということはご家族は無事だったんですね。
母と妹はね、父は国軍に志願して北カレリア戦線で行方不明。多分もう死んじゃってると思うけど。
すみません、私余計なことを。
もう今時珍しい話じゃないんだから、いちいち気にしないの。家族4人のうち3人助かったなんて奇跡よ。
ごめんなさい。
でね、入隊のもう一つの理由がそれ。
それ？
敵討ちってわけじゃないけど、父がそうしたように私もベータと戦って家族を守りたい。
お父さんと同じように。
I guess she can relate.
それでいつかあいつらをヨーロッパから追い出して祖国を再建するの。父が命がけで守ろうとしたフィンランドを。でね、私たちの家があった場所に父のお墓を建てて、そのそばで家族一緒に暮らしたいの。ところであなたの家族は無事なの？
はい、パパと2人です。ママは私が小さい頃病気で死んじゃいました。
そう、お気の毒に。
いえ、私は最後までママのそばにいることができましたから、少尉に比べれば贅沢なことです。
またさっきから気にしないでって言ってるのに。もしかしてそれ日本人特有のリアクション？
すみません。
Wow, I didn't know that. Thomas' mom died from an illness, huh? No wonder her father's so doting.
私イルマテスレフ。あなたは？
田瀬美希。ミキ玉瀬です。
ミキか。こんなこと言ったら失礼だけど、フィンランドだと男の子に間違えられる名前ね。
男の子ですか？なんか複雑ですね。
ねえミキ、いつか人類がベータに勝って私の国が再建されたら、お父さんと一緒にフィンランドにいらっしゃい。私が招待するから。
That's cool, she's making a friend.
本当ですか？私絶対行きます。でもフィンランドってすごく遠いですよね。
確かに遠いけど、ソビエトを挟んで一つ隣じゃない。日本に一番近いヨーロッパなのよ。
そうだったんですか？日本のことまで知ってるなんて、イルマ少尉すごいです。
宿敵だったロシアを負かしたことのある唯一の国だから、多くのフィンランド人は日本に親近感と興味を持っているの。それにお互い第二次世界大戦の敗戦国だしね。
ミキはフィンランドのことはあまり知らないので恥ずかしい
です。だからこそミキには来てほしいのよ。いい？約束よ。
はい、わかりました。
だから早く終わらせようね。人間同士の戦いもベータとの戦いも。その時までお互い絶対死なない。いい？はい。よし、じゃあ行くね。そろそろ交代の時間だから。
はい。少尉、お話できて楽しかったです。ありがとうございました。
私もよ。約束忘れないでね。
She joined the foreign military in the hopes of retaking her homeland and rescuing her family. That's what she's put her life on the line for. In a way, that's almost like her own personal pillar of strength. Just like how the Japanese find strength in the shogun. Man, it's like I can't get away from that concept.
あれ、タケルさん？
Ah.
どうしたの？
Oh, I was just wandering around to try and clear my head, and I heard your voice, so...
もしかしてずっと見てたの？
I think I came in partway through, but it didn't feel right to interrupt either. Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop.
別に謝ることじゃないですよ。
She seemed like a really great person. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but it seems like the American army has all sorts of people in it too, huh? After everything that's happened, I couldn't help feeling some animosity towards the American forces. But the individual pilots on the front lines aren't any different from you and me. If nothing else, she was at least talking to Tama as a sympathetic, considerate human being, and not as a superior officer. What? Oh, Tama, what's the matter? Hey.
自分の命も危ないのに、私のこと気遣って励ましてくれて。
Yeah.
自分の国がなくなっちゃって、家族や死んじゃったお父さんのために戦ってるのに、フィンランドを取り戻すために戦ってるのに、なのに私のパパがあの人たちを巻き込んじゃったのかもしれないんだよ。
Tama.
パパはいつも言ってた。日本を守るためにはアメリカ軍の力が必要だって。
Her dad said that to her? But that's true, isn't it? Just in terms of firepower, we're way better off with the Americans' help. Especially in circumstances like this, if the Beta chose to move south today, they could completely obliterate the Far East defense line. Even if you're right, doesn't that just go to show that he's really trying hard to help save Japan and the world as a whole? Besides, the Americans deployed their fleet out here as if they knew what was going to happen. They probably planned on intervening no matter what. Back in the command center, the undersecretary was trying to get the US military brought into Yokohama base as soon as possible. Ultimately, he got his wish, but still, even Yuko-sensei acknowledged that he was only acting with Japan and Alternative for his best interest in mind. Too bad I can't tell Tama about any of that.
タケルさん、私怖い。
Huh?
もしかしたらこのクーデターもアメリカ軍を引き入れるためにパパが。
脚本を用意したのはおそらく国連上層部のオルタネイティブ5推進派と CIA でしょう。
I didn't put it together before, but she's right. That's absolutely possible. If Chief Yodo is to be believed, then Tama's dad must be the one must be one of the UN higher-ups he was referring to. Then Undersecretary Thomas's actions are effectively interfering with Alternative 4, aren't they? But that would also mean he's collaborating with the Alternative 5 supporters. Didn't he say he wanted to see Alternative 4 to completion? There's no way he just...
もしそうだったら私どうすればいいの？
Huh?
だって榊さんのお父さんがあんなことになっちゃったのも殿下がこんな目に遭ってるのもみんなの命が危険にさらされているのも極東の防衛線が崩壊しそうなのも全部パパが関わっていたら
Stop it, that's enough. Even if any of that were true, he only would have done it if it meant increasing Japan's and humanity's chances at survival. I'm just blowing smoke here. If that's actually what he was going for, he's an idiot. Besides, that's all just speculation, right? Excuse me. I mean, I can't exactly say it's baseless, to be honest. But whatever, that's not what she needs to hear right now. This whole situation is really stressful, so you're probably just overthinking things and getting stressed about over nothing. I mean, it's our first mission and we've been chased all over the place by loads of enemies. Now they've got us surrounded. Anyone would be stressing out about this. But if you don't pull yourself together, you could literally die out here. And if you go down, if any of us gets killed, the entire squad could be wiped out. Didn't you just make a promise to that pilot? You've got to survive until we beat in the beta so you can go visit Finland, right? If you ever want that to happen, you need to focus on getting through this mission. We can worry about the rest after we make it back home safely, okay? Doesn't look like that did much to boost her confidence. There's nothing else to be said. Not for me anyhow. My convictions aren't strong enough for me to preach to Tama. I don't know how to feel about all of this any more than she does. I should probably go. Sorry, I'm really tired. So that probably didn't come out right. That second lieutenant sure was something. And I don't think it was just a matter of her having more experience either. I'm pretty damn pathetic in comparison, aren't I? I'm gonna get going. Let's make it out of this alive, okay? Alright, one more left. Mikoto. Mikoto should be the least affected by this out of the whole squad. But that's assuming she doesn't know what her dad really does. In reality, she might be under just as much pressure as everybody else. What's bugging me is how withdrawn she's been since the uprising began. But I like to think that she's trying to be considerate of everyone else, and that she's worried about her father in the capital. The only energetic voice here. It's actually really nice to see you still acting this way even under these circumstances, but... You seem a little too perky right now. How many antidepressants did you take? Yeah, that's what concerns me. I'm exhausted, dude. And seeing you this upbeat only makes it 10 times worse. No. Only a lunatic would say that in this situation. There's a time and a place, and this isn't it. Ah, so she's just putting up a front. Got you. You sure you're not just pretending to be okay? There's nothing wrong with trying to force a smile onto your face. In fact, I really admire that about you. But right now, you'd be better off just letting it all out. Don't feel like you have to be happy just because I'm around. That defeats the whole purpose of taking a break.
無理はしてないよ。
Really? Alright. Guess I'll head back then.
もう行っちゃうの？
I don't want to keep you from resting, so I'll see you later.
せっかくだからさ、もう少し話そうよ。
As long as you promise you're not going to keep forcing a smile.
わかった。
I really don't have the energy to be reading between the lines right now, so it'll be easier on both of us if you just be straight with me.
ごめん。ほら、タケルはさ、殿下を乗せてるでしょ。だから僕たちより責任が大きい分疲れてると思ってさ。
Well, I have another person's life in my hands. I can't really allow myself to think about fatigue right now, you know? I gotta stay alive to ensure Her Highness's safety.
なるほど。そう言われればそうかもね。
I appreciate you worried about me, but I think you guys are probably just as tired as I am.
うん。
I probably felt way less pressure from having the Shogun riding with me than anyone else in Japan would have. In fact, having someone there in the cockpit with me for my first battle probably made things a bit easier overall.
僕、殿下が心配だよ。本当はそんなこと聞いちゃいけないんだろうけど。
Mikoto too, huh? Guess she really is just a Japanese person thing in this world. Even though all their lives are at risk, they're more worried about the Shogun. And it's not just a result of the psychological training we underwent to combat the fear of death either. If anything, their fight or flight response is probably making them more worried about the Shogun's safety since she's their biggest source of strength. They didn't mention it in the briefing, so this is probably supposed to be classified, but Her Highness has acute motion sickness.
タケル！それ、僕に言っちゃダメだよ。
Hey, at least now you won't have to worry yourself sick thinking up the worst case scenario, right?
でも。
Besides, it makes it easier on me if you guys already know about it. And you can't unhear it at this point, so I guess that makes us partners in crime, huh?
わかったよ。それで、殿下の具合は？
She was getting tossed around on a TSF cockpit at full speed without even a fortified suit, and still she never complained. She's stronger than she looks, in both mind and body. I suggested we stop when I saw her getting worse, but that just made her upset. She told me not to let any more lives go to waste.
殿下。
But as for her current condition, she's stable, but not doing so hot. A little rest isn't going to be enough for her to fully recover. I don't know what the Major and the Elders are planning, but her condition's probably going to get even worse when we move out again.
僕たちも頑張らなくっちゃね。
Yeah.
タケル、ありがとう。
Whoa, where's this coming from?
タケルがいてくれてよかったよ。僕たちだけだったらもっと悪い状況になっていた気がする。
If you mean just in terms of piloting skills, I disagree. At this point, all of our TSFs are.
もちろんタケルの OS のおかげで機体の性能が上がっていたことも大きいんだけど、なんていうのかな。こんな時だから言っちゃうけど、頼りになるっていうか、訓練学校に来た時からタケルは技能も知識もすごくてさ。
Come on, don't say that. That's not fair to you guys. The only reason I'm better at this stuff is because I've gone through it once before.
覚悟や考え方も大人っていうか、まるで正規兵みたいでさ。
I mean, I technically do have 2 or 3 years more experience than you guys, but only because I've been tossed around the multiverse like a ragdoll in the hands of a playful god. In the previous timeline, I was the one holding everyone else back.
なんかそこにいてくれるだけで安心できるんだ。
I don't have the advantage anymore, though. Hell, I'm supposed to be determined to save humanity, and I can't even get my own feelings worked out.
タイのみんなもきっとそう思ってるよ。なんか戦場ドラマなんかだとさ、こういう場面の後、どっちかが死んじゃうパターンが多いんだよね。
Don't say that and jinx it. Well, dude, see? Don't jinx us here. Sheesh.
本当だ。
There's that Mikoto laugh I know so well. Maybe there was some benefit in me coming here after all. Though it certainly didn't help ease my anxiety and frustration, so in that respect, it kind of backfired. I should be going, I think.
わかった。引き止め でごめんね。
Bye now. Make good use of the rest of your time.
殿下をお願い。
I will.
白金たける。
Huh? Ah. Second Lieutenant Camille. Must be someone else's turn to guard Her Highness.
探したぞ。休憩とはいえこの状況でうろつき回るとは国連軍の程度が知れるな。
Sorry. Man, it still feels really weird to be talking to her like she's my superior.
まあいい。ついてこい。